All right, legends, welcome to the Gym Boss Podcast. I'm Jimmy Halley. I'm your host as always. I've got a special guest on today, Troy. He's the owner of Valet Tudo gyms in Sydney. He's got two of them. Actually, he's built them up to now a total across the two studios, 550 members. We're going to dive into like how he got that, the struggles, successes, and stuff he's had along the way, so you guys can learn from that. But before we do, if anytime during this you're like, hey, I just need somebody to help me out with my marketing to be able to get similar results to like what Troy's got, then go on over to iwantgymleads.com. There's a page over there. You can go see some of our client stories, and then you can go and book in a call with us to talk about how we can actually get this happening for you. But Troy, welcome,
Timothy.
Thank you so much for coming on.
What's happening, Timothy?
Mate, we're just living the lockdown lifestyle. Oh well, you guys probably more so.
Mate, we're going all right. We're going all right here. Just fingers crossed we don't have another outbreak, mate, like Melbourne. So yeah, we should be sweet.
Yeah. So tell the guys a little bit about your gym, because I know I've just said the sort of basic overview. Valet Tudo.
Yep.
You're at 550 members. You've started off with one in Botany, which is near the airport in Sydney, and then you've got another one on the north side of Sydney in Ryde. And that one's a bit newer, isn't it? It's about how old's that one?
So we're just coming on to 13 months at the moment.
Oh, sweet.
13 months. So it's still pretty fresh, but it's going along pretty sweet, mate.
And so what's your sort of demographic that you guys have there?
So we find that we've got like a younger kind of crowd, bordering between 25 to 40, mostly between the ages of, I say the median age would be, around 27, 28. But we're definitely find that we're getting a lot of, people coming to do extras for their sporting seasons. A lot of football players doing their extras, a lot of netball players, runners, fighters, boxers, grapplers coming to do their strength and conditioning type work with us in a group fitness environment, mate.
Because you got a different concept, which is really cool. Like, first of all, tell people about the reason behind the name, and then about like your actual product that you deliver.
Between gyms, I was always into the combat kind of sports, boxing, Muay Thai. But I'd get a little bit bored of going to the gym and just working on your own all the time. So I'd go hit a camp or like a big box gym, like a Fitness First or Anytime Fitness for a few months. And I was just trying to develop something that was going to give me all in one. So Valet Tudo, essentially no holds barred. So if you fought in an octagon or So Valet Tudo means no holds barred, or in MMA circles. So if you jumped in the octagon and the referee said that the rules were Valet Tudo, means there's no holds barred or anything goes. So with our training style, we're all strength and conditioning coaches here at Valet Tudo, and we like to definitely give a very strong strength portion. Then we come into a conditioning or cardio area. And then we move in our classes into a boxing or mixed martial arts type workout where you would go through mixed martial arts or boxing movements for your conditioning.
Is that all in one session?
Pretty much all in one session, yeah.
Wow. And you've made some stuff as well, like pieces of equipment?
Yes. I haven't made them. I brought some special equipment over from overseas. Actually, yes, I have. I made a stand-up boxing bag that actually goes into the floor. So then we've got space instead of having them in the big water-filled bases. We've got them in plates that actually bolt into the floor. So when we're not using them, we can move them away and we still got the floor space.
Ah, awesome. But the thing I was thinking of was something to do with the lights.
Yeah, so the Fitlights, it's part of Valet Tudo, a subsidiary company. What we've got is a product called the Fitlight Trainer. So the Fitlight Trainer is a reaction-based training system. Okay, you have a iPad or an Android controller, which has a aerial or a dongle in it that sends a radio frequency signal to the lights. You can set up any pattern with the lights. It's actually a really, really high-end product that people like the Australian Institute of Sport, the New South Wales Institute of Sport, the Brisbane Broncos, the Dragons, Port Adelaide AFL club, and heaps of other big clubs in Australia have been using for their reaction-based training.
That's awesome, mate. And what, you and some of your business partners developed the concept?
Yeah, so we just brought it over from the States.
Got it.
I discovered it about 6 or 7 years ago now. And yeah, we've been distributing the product and using it in classes ever since, mate.
That's awesome. So you got like a whole well-rounded, almost like an athlete type program that you've got there.
Well, that's the kind of target market that we're going for. Obviously, we can, progress or regress anything in our classes, but we're definitely trying to push for those people trying to boost their athletic ability.
Mate, I love it. So what's running 2 gyms, having all these other, I know, I've known, for guys listening in, me and Troy have known each other for years. I actually, he came and trained with me for a little stint there as well when I was in my PT days, but that was only for a small period of time. But it was too hard for me.
It was too hard for me, Jimmy.
I remember you were like, had like a busted shoulder or slip disc in your neck or something.
Busted. Mate, it's old sporting injuries, mate. My body's it may as well be blue tack together, to be honest. So still going.
Sticky tape. Here we go. So now that you're at where you're at, I know you're a man involved in multiple businesses. Got the 2 big studios. You're managing all that. Plus, you're a family man. You got kids. You got all that going on. What's a typical day like for you now?
Mate, I always wake up early. I think that's a key for most. For the key to success, I'll get up really, really early, try and beat my alarm so then I'm not woken up, by some external kind of buzz. So I wake up early, get ready for work, and I try and be at work no later than 5 o'clock in the morning. Train, get my day started right by training, and then mate, I just delegate jobs and then do the little bits and pieces that need to be done, So, yeah, I do have a lot on my plate, but I've been told in the past by business mentors and people that have really helped me in my career that if I want to be successful, you need to delegate. You can't do everything yourself, otherwise things get done half-assed. So, mate, I've got a really, really good team around me. Everyone's on the same mission, and I'm just blessed and very, very grateful to have people around me that compliment me.
That's awesome. Well, real quick, how do you go about finding good people? Because that's something that trainers always ask. How do I find good people?
Yeah,
that's a gym owners always ask.
To be honest, it's really hard, but mate, I try not to look when the person's needed. I try and look beforehand. So I try and look for people. I've actually trying to secure someone at the moment before we're looking for another manager out here at Ride. But mate, I think just when you advertise for someone, when I've advertised for people in the past, I've ended up with a bunch of dud kind of people wasting my time. Not to say that everyone's a dud, mate, because there are plenty of good people out there, but there can be plenty of good people out there, but they really need to be on the same mission, vision, and have the same values as you, and actually get along with your team and blend in with kind of the brand and culture here. So, mate, I've really put the feelers out with the staff first, and then if we have no success, then I'll try and look a little bit deeper through my contacts, and then put my little marketing skills into play that I've been taught by you, Jimothy.
But that's actually a really
sales
good
skills.
insight. That's a really good insight that a lot of people can take from this, is that the advertising approach for staff is usually the lowest quality, and the best place to look is within your immediate network.
Yeah, 100%.
So now that you've got that, so you're obviously going out and putting the feelers out. What's some of the stuff that you're currently struggling with in your business? Because everyone likes to talk about all the good stuff, but what's the stuff that's sort of a struggle for you right now? Because obviously everyone's come out of lockdown in various stages around this country or around the world. What's some stuff that you've experienced that's been kind of tough?
Mate, well, to be honest, there's a couple things. One thing is trying to manage the members, and obviously at the moment we're stuck to or limited to 20 people per class, where we normally would be able to fit 36, having 2 or 3 trainers on when we're at a capacity. But at the moment, we're only limited to 20 people per class. So just for an example, a couple of days ago at Botany, we had 10 classes on. We had 20 people booked into each class, and we had more than 10 people on each wait list. So trying to keep the members happy and feeling valued and like their membership is worth what they're paying is a bit of a struggle at the moment. But all I can do is just keep adding value. Like we're putting some workshops on, some just some fun challenges going on a weekly basis, just to keep people, engaged and feeling like that they're not left behind if they can't get into a class. Also, kind of just managing leads. It's something that I've never been great at. But I do have, once again, a couple people. We're just trying to catch up on some work at the moment. We're running a fairly big challenge right now. We're just trying to catch up and getting our structure around lead management will probably be a little bit more focused coming up in the next couple of weeks. That's definitely big.
Awesome. Thing. So like some people have the problem of like, okay, clients have left or like still on hold. But you've got the opposite problem where it's kind of like, which I can imagine a lot of gyms would have this problem as well. It's like trying to keep all the people happy that you've got, because you do have restrictions in place of like how many people you can have at a time. Yeah,
definitely, mate. It's a good problem to have, but at the same time can definitely feel people's pain because they want to get in and rip in, but they can't.
Yeah, man, I totally get it. Let's rewind a little bit into the whole building of your gyms to where they are now, to the the 500 plus people. What's some of the stuff that if you could go back in time, you'd never do again, so people can avoid the same stuff?
What would I never do again?
Yeah.
Mate, to be honest, everything that I've done, I think, or the majority of things I've done, I've learnt from. Hiring people in the past without really giving them a proper trial period,
Okay.
Has definitely been something that I've learnt from, because once you hire them, you feel obliged to keep them in, give them the maximum training. But if they're not performing, and sometimes I have beat around the bush and not been as honest as I should be with someone if they're not up to what we're about, So I think just being a little bit more honest and upfront will definitely make my life and their life a little bit clearer, and also the member experience better. Another thing I would do would be try and do my Facebook advertising by myself, because at one stage you were teaching me how to advertise on social media, mate, and it's stuck in my head that I was probably your worst student ever. So,
FYI, guys, I did say that to him, but only because I could say that to him. But Troy is legit the worst with technology I've ever seen.
Mate, when I first started out, I had a couple partners. I was supposed to be doing the gym programming, running the classes, whatever was in the 4 walls of the gym, I was physically meant to be doing to keep, the gym alive. And I had the partners meant to be doing, all the back end, the marketing, the sales, the sign up, systems, operations, business plan, blah, blah, blah. Mate, and once I ended up on my own, I didn't even know how to turn a computer, and then it just ended up, definitely an uphill battle, but one that's, turned out in the right way for me, mate. So
I like that, because that's the person to just go to show this guy didn't even know. When I met him, he was doing a course and he was printing them out. I was printing out the pieces of paper, and I was like, what are you doing, mate? Like, it's a digital course. And he was printing stuff out and writing it on the paper. And and he came with a backpack full of pieces of paper. And I was like, what are you doing? And
mate, That's why I joined your gym, Jimmy. They say proximity is key, mate. And I just wanted to get close to you, and you taught me to do it on the computer. So that's why I went to play.
Welcome to the 21st century. It was so good. But you know what? This is great because Troy's a great example of just doing it. Like he had no idea. And look at him. He found out his strengths, found out his weaknesses, didn't let the setbacks keep you down. So you just learn from it. That's basically to reframe what you said earlier, is like you almost said, well, look, none of it I'd really not ever do again because I learned from it all. But it's like, if you could do it a bit differently, you probably would. But
yeah, definitely
got you to where you are today, right?
100%.
So that's the stuff that you would never do again. What's some stuff in the industry that you're seeing, whether it be with other gyms or with other marketers or with other gurus or whatever? What's some stuff in the industry that you're just like, man, that's not cool. I'm sick of that.
Mate, I see. To be honest, I'm not sure, Jimmy. You know, like I'm very kind of focused on what we're doing. You know, I try not to look at other gym pages, although they do pop up. I've got a lot of mates that own gyms, a lot of mates that are PTs. So things do pop up and I say, gee, that's cool. But, you know, like, mate, what are other people doing? Mate, to be honest, that's a hard question because I try not to dive into other people's business, mate. I just really try and focus on what we're doing and you know, focus on our path, mate. So I see that a lot of people are advertising the same way. You know, like I'll get Facebook ads coming, you know, everyone wants to do this transformation and they're always focusing on, you know, training and nutrition, you know, where I find in the past when I was doing that, before I really found my feet and my, you know, what I was trying to target and who I was trying to target, I found a lot of people that come along that want to do the transformation. They're not only struggling with their training and nutrition, but they're struggling with their recovery, and because they'll always or have plenty of times got injured, and they're also struggling with their mindset. You know, so we've kind of based our model on 4 pillars: training, nutrition, mindset, and recovery. Because I found if one of those things is out and they're misaligned, I should say, that people are going to fall off and they're not going to get the results that they want. You know, so I think just trying to give that holistic approach to a transformation challenge, or, you know, just to the training approach or the, you know, the gym environment is probably a more, you know, solid model than just focusing on training and nutrition.
That's cool. Great answer, by the way. Fucking
Thanks,
great
Jim.
answer. Like,
thanks, mate.
I had no idea where these podcasts go, like when I do them, but always like get some great stuff. And that's a good reminder for anybody, is like, just stay in your own lane. Sure, you can sort of keep an eye out and have a look, but don't obsess over what other people are doing. And if you focus more internally on what you're doing and what you can do to like better serve your clients, better improve your service, you know, better improve your marketing or your sales or everything, then you're going to win, instead of like obsessing about this person copied your ad or this person did that. Like,
that's happened. Yeah, that's happened. But you know,
yeah, it happens. It happened to all of us.
Yeah.
But that's a great answer, man. And so I know we spoke about like the you know, struggles and stuff, or stuff you've done in the past. Well, what's some stuff that you're doing right now that's working really well for you? Like as a business as a whole, whether it's like onboarding new clients, whether it's training your staff, like what's working really good for you right now?
Yeah. So, mate, we're actually running, or we've started to do our, so in the past we used to run Facebook groups for our challenges or our programs that we're running within the gym. And I found that a lot of people would get lost. I don't know, Facebook or posts get lost, videos get lost in the feed. So we've moved online with all of that stuff. And mate, it's going great. Like we've had some really, really good feedback. I can monitor people's progression. I can see that what they're up to, whether they're getting answers right, you know, because we're putting surveys and quizzes in there, and we can see whether they're actually doing the work. And it's actually showing, you know, giving us a lot more feedback of what people want, and also what their knowledge, you know, or where they're at kind of in terms of their knowledge and their mindset and also, it's just something that I should have looked into a long time ago. But I'm glad that we're there now, because the online kind of structure is so much easier to manage, and it's very, very much a user-friendly and cleaner approach to running your programs or challenges.
That's awesome. So what, are you using like a program that like Trainerize or something like that? Or are you using your own like membership site?
No, so it's going to be linked to us. So we've found an online course builder. So each day something.
Which one? Just so the guys know.
It's called Thinkific. Thinkific. I shouldn't tell people, but it's not a secret. But it's called Thinkific. It works for us. So each day, for example, we're running a 55-day challenge at the moment. It's called 55 Tough, where it's an 8-week challenge. So we split the 8 weeks up into 4 2-week blocks, and each 2 weeks we change the rules of the program. So for the first 2 weeks, for example, people have to train 6 days out of the 7 days. They have to give gratitude each morning. They have to read a book that we've put into the course. They have to answer questions on the book. They have to have a cold shower each day. Obviously, a lot of these things we can't monitor, but we really, in the orientation, really dig into integrity and what people are really in the challenge for. Whether are they in there for a Nobel Prize or to test themselves. We've also got a dietitian on board, where she's come in and created 15 really healthy, nutrient-rich meals, 5 breakfasts and 10 main meals. Now, each member can only choose 4 of those things to eat for the whole 55 days, but they can eat 10 times a day, but only one of those 4 things. So they can't have snacks, they can't have coffee, they can't have pre-workout, they can't have any of these things. But each 2 weeks, we change the rules to keep them guessing. And what we've done is each day, we drop something into the course. So they might watch, for example, on Monday, a motivational video. And then, Tuesday, we'll do a squat clean tutorial. Then they answer questions about it. Then on a Wednesday, we give them another little quiz, and all these little things that drop in each day to keep them engaged. And instead of us having just touch points within the gym and on the phone, then we've got touch points online, where people could be in their bed, but they're still seeing us.
That's great. And so that's just like an email password sort of log in. It's not like an extra app or anything. Yeah.
No, it's an email password login. But we're going to incorporate or just feed it into our website, so there's a member login section as well.
Awesome, mate. That's great. So to recap, just to go through some of the stuff that's working really, that you've done, is we spoke about your typical day. You get up early, like most trainers. You get your training in early. But then you plan your day, and then you delegate things out, like basically planning the day at the start of the day.
100%. I normally plan on a Sunday and then come in and then delegate if I can't get things done, or obviously try and put out fires if there are fires there, mate.
With fireman hat on. Yeah. And so you do your planning of the week ahead, but then you delegate it out on a daily basis or whatever needed.
Yeah.
And then some of the stuff that you've done in the past to do well to grow your team is look with your internal network first, rather than advertise first. Like and try and hire before, or at least start looking before you need the role.
Yes.
And what else did we talk about? Having the online thing is actually really great, opposed to a Facebook group. Probably a little
100%.
bit of work to get set up, but
mate, definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it.
Know what you're good at and what you're not good at, and get other people to do the stuff you're not good at.
Yeah, mate, there's a lot that I'm not good at. I say I'm a man of many skills, but I haven't mastered many of them, but I'm still learning and I'm enjoying the ride, mate. So
that's awesome, man. I love it. And for any final bits you want to say to anybody about, if people are trying to grow their gym?
Mate, if you're trying to grow, just, be aware that you can't do everything. There's so many aspects of running a business, not only a gym. There's so many things, and running a successful gym. So, mate, you have to delegate jobs, but make sure as well, whoever you're delegating the job to or you're hiring is on the same mission as you. Because if they're not, things are going to get crossed. There'll be drama within the staff, and that's going to detract from what you're trying to do. So make sure everyone's on the same journey and path as you, and they know where you guys are going. So that way, when you do delegate things are going to get done right, because you want to get to that end goal.
Mate, that's awesome. Troy, thanks so much for coming on, man, and sharing. I know you're a busy man. I know you got a lot going on, but that's really cool. And there's a lot of helpful little insights in there for everybody to be able to take away. And a couple of good, like maybe even just reminders for people of stuff that you might already know, but you're sort of like not quite doing on a daily basis. So Troy, thanks for coming on, man.
Mate.
And everybody listening in, as always, if you need any additional help with your marketing, or you want to find a little bit more about what I do within exclusively for gyms, go to iwantgymleads.com. So iwantgymleads.com. There's just a page over there. You can see our client stories. And if you like what you see, book in a time to speak with us so we can do the same for you. Guys, Troy, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jimmy.
I'll see you
Thanks, never too busy. Cheers, mate. Legend.